Crack one, pour one. Let's have some fun at UFC Vegas 109. We're back, Fiends and Forecasters. Full card prediction show underway. But before we start it off, let's give credit where credit is due with that $100 giveaway. Each and every week, all what you got to do is comment your most confident parlay in the comment section below, and you have your chance to win $100. Plus 100 odds or above. Hashtag F3 has to be there. Key requirements. And my guy T-Swizzle, T-Pain, Money Man, Tristan, got it done here. Look at the parlay he gave up, and he wants to somehow join the Prop Fiend show with me, Prelim Tim, Husky Hustler, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have 4 people on the show. Tristan wants to make an appearance. We're going to make it happen. So let's have some fun this week. That should be interesting. Tristan is an interesting guy. So be there, be square, be sharp. 8 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. Prop Fiends are going live. And we're also probably doing a giveaway. But you got to be in the live chat if you want that $50. So be in the live chat, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, if you want $50 potentially. One winner there, one winner this week at the end of the show with the hashtag F3 giveaway. Let's get her going. First fight of the night, Gabriella Fernandes, 10-3, 4-1 favorite versus Julija Stoliarenko from Lithuania, 11-8-1. I mean, I don't know how she's going to win this fight. Hasn't fought in nearly 2 years. Awful loss by knockout. She's been finished in her last couple losses. But I don't see her getting finished here, although Fernandes got that submission versus Kong Wang. I think this is a half competitive fight, although Stoliarenko isn't that good. I think it will be half competitive. First fight of the night, women's fight. I see it going the distance, and clearly the big favorite winning. Fernandes is going to win this fight. She has more finishing upside to win the fight as well. If any girl's going to get the finish, it's probably Fernandes, but let's beware. Julija Stoliarenko from Lithuania has that submission in her back pocket. She's win-loss is due for the win here, but I see her losing again. If she happens to get it done, let's watch out for her grappling, her submissions, and I'm sure Fernandes is aware of that. She just got a submission win over Kong Wang, so I think she'll be fine as a 4-1 favorite. She ain't the parlay buster this week. I have her in a parlay or two. If she busts, I'll be pretty upset. I'll be bawling my eyes out in the bathtub. Next fight. If this fighter loses as a 4-1 favorite, I might be crying in the bathtub as well, because Uros from Serbia is a fighter that I really like. He's a good fighter. He has knockout power. Unfortunately, if he gets taken down, pushed up against the cage, it can be a close, grimy fight against Gilbert Urbina. Urbina's a respectful fighter. 7-3. He was on The Ultimate Fighter. He's fought some good guys too, like Brian Battle. He got knocked out to Trayshawn Gore. I'm not picking him as an underdog here because of that. Now, he has some fight in him. He's a dog. He could last to a decision, but I don't think he's going to have enough accuracy in this fight. He's going to push forward, get hit more in this fight, and it's not going to look good on the judges' scorecard. Expect him to have more damage at the end of the fight. I think Uros, the doctor medic, is going to be the one calling in the doctor for Urbina. He might even have to act as the doctor if no one else is around. I think medic knocks him out here, honestly. Urbina gets into these dangerous situations, and this one might not be good. Medic's off a loss. He's motivated for the win in this one. Big price to pay, but I'll lay the chalk. Not confident as a lock of the week play. Obviously, if this fight gets grimy against the cage, grappling, I'm not as confident. This fight has to stay on the feet for Medic. The doctor needs to call in the doctor by using his striking, accuracy, and power in this fight. Let's see if he can make the call. Let's go, Medic. This is a big one for him here. Obviously, Awful loss to Punahele Soriano. Not the best look. That's why I can't trust him as a lock of the week. Majtelbek Oral by Jalen Turner. They exposed his grappling, but they're on a higher level, in my opinion, than Gilbert Urbina. Although Urbina is going to be grinding for that submission. Seems to be his only path to victory on the feet. He's going to be outclassed by the doctor. Too experienced, too equipped in the cage. The next fight, women's bantamweight fight, is a banger. Joselyne Edwards off a knockout win. Finished her last two opponents. And she's fighting the zombie girl, Priscila Cachoeira. This girl is an underdog, fights for your money. Won her last fight, knocking out Joselyne Nunez with that uppercut round one. And I think that's a better win than Chelsea Chandler. Chelsea Chandler's 6-3. Joselyne Nunez was 10-3. And we're getting Priscila at big plus money. She's a big underdog. She fights like an underdog, and she can cash as an underdog. You look at the last two losses for her, bias submission to Miranda Maverick and Jasmine Jazuda Vicious. Not bad losses. She's beat the other three girls out of her last 5 fights, knocking out Ariana Lipsky there, and a decision win over Ji Yun Kim. Now, I think this is a winnable fight. Definitely on the judges' scorecards, I think they will give it to the zombie girl with the volume, more damage done, fighting off that forward pressure, not backing up against the cage too much in this fight. I would see Joselyne Edwards being the one to back up against the cage, be less willing to stand in the center of the octagon. I feel like she's going to be more shy in these exchanges with the zombie girl. Once she feels the power, I think she's going to shy away more and more. Later in the fight, I think Priscila has the grit. I think she can look better later in the fight as well. So at this price, certainly an underdog of the week opportunity. If you want the official dog of the week, $5 a month on Patreon. Hit that link in bio below. She's obviously going to be a bet at plus money. How can you not? She is the pick. Nonetheless, I think the zombie girl is showing up here to get it done against Joselyne Edwards, who honestly, before those 2 finish wins, had 2 losses. One to Nora Cornole by unanimous decision, and another loss to Aline Perez by unanimous decision. Before that, her win was to Lucy Pudilova, 14-7. And she won that by a split decision. Hardly won the fight. This is a tough fight for her to cover the price tag. Insane price for Joselyne Edwards. I don't see her winning the fight, let alone covering the price tag the bookies are offering here. Let's beat up the bookies on this one. I think I might take the zombie girl as my dog of the week. Looking at the Zodiac forecast numerology, this fight could be the most confident coding that I found so far as well. If that means anything to anyone, I think this underdog is barking. And there is another underdog on this card, barking as well. But in the next fight, I doubt the Japanese prospect gets it done as an underdog here. 5-1 versus Elijah Smith, 8-1. Promise and prospect in the UFC, although unable to find a finish in his last fight. We've seen improvements. We've seen promise. He was able to get out of multiple submission attempts. Kazama, if he wants to throw a submission, it's not going to be too easy. Not like that last fight with Charalampus Gregorio. It's easy for me to say that Elijah Smith is levels above that last opponent Kazama fought. Elijah Smith is going to be the toughest fight to date for Kazama, and it's going to be a rough night in that octagon. Give me Elijah Smith. Easy pick here. Probably knocks him out round 1 or 2, even round 3. This fight does not go the distance. No way. Kazama's going to go there guns a-blazing. Probably get caught early in this fight, if not right into round 2. He does not last long with a guy this elite like Elijah Smith. Put him in the parlays. He's not going to bust it up. He's going to bust up Kazama. That's what he's about to do here in the bantamweight division. He's on the lookout here at bantamweight. Now, I don't think this big favorite next is as easy to predict as other big favorites I might have talked about already. Now we got Julius Walker, 6-1, pretty inexperienced here as a huge favorite, maybe the biggest favorite on the card versus Raffael Cerqueira. Now I know he was knocked out, Cerqueira to Ibo Aslan, Modescus Bacchus, and he's fought some pretty low-level guys before that. Yeah, not a promising underdog again, but he might have a little fight left in him. He's never won a UFC fight yet. He's kind of due for one. He's lost 2, got knocked out in both of them. He's 35, now or never. Maybe he's just brought in to get slaughtered for 3 fights. Get in, get out. But he kind of wants a win here. He'll be motivated for the win here. And this is an underdog that has some value because Julius Walker, obviously, a round 1 finisher. He can tend to gas out later in that fight. Took a well-respected fighter with UFC experience to a split decision. It's hard to disagree with the odds. He probably goes out here, gets the win quite easily. He has a clear path to victory as well. We talked about it in our Discord. Make sure you check that out. All the links are in the bio below. Smash them. So basically, we think Julius Walker can get this submission easily. He can beat higher-level opponents than Cerqueira. And Cerqueira lost to Ibo Aslan and Modestus Bacchus. And Julius Walker might be able to beat those guys. The youth, the volume, the speed, maybe even the experience, the higher level experience all favors the juice box, Julius Walker. So he's the pick, but let's be careful. All these big favorites, you got to think one of them, maybe one of them, burns the parlay. So you got to be careful. There's not much value on the juice box unless we're taking them by submission or finish, round 1, exact outcome props, stuff like that. At 6-1, you got to be parlaying him with a lot of other fighters to find some juice box on juice box. Now we're going to keep trucking along at the apex. We're getting into the main card. We got, 5 fights on the prelims. Now we got 6 on the main card. We'll go through it half-fast. No half-ass. We're here to beat the bookie's ass. We got Christian, Leroy, Duncan. Goddamn. You know the Duncan team is here. Last week, Chris Duncan got it done. This week, Christian Leroy Duncan will get it done. We're still going to Dunkin' Donuts this weekend. Fuck yeah. We got to do an encore last week. Unfortunately, we're getting Leroy Duncan this week as a 5-1 favorite. We have to figure out how he's going to win. He's clearly going to beat Eryk Anders, 17-8, who has a lot of red on his record. He does. A lot of red. He's probably going to have a lot of red in this fight. He's going to be bloodied up. Leroy Duncan is the better striker, more seasoned, in and out of range. I think he controls the range in this fight and dominates in the striking department. Even on the ground, you take a look at his regional scene, the amateur scene for Christian Leroy Duncan. He was locking in submissions multiple different ways. I think it is certainly a path to victory looking at how Eryk Anders can get submitted so easily. He's grappling a lot as well. He might try to mix that into his game plan, which would be a big mistake versus Chris Duncan. Duncan can capitalize on the ground. Submission if he wants to. It would be a second submission win. He doesn't get them very often. He has 8 knockout wins. So he's looking to keep it on the feet, dominate there. But there is a path to victory, let me tell you, on the ground for Christian Leroy Duncan to lock in that second ever submission. Good win in his last fight, and you see his last couple fights going the distance. Now I'm starting to suspect this one ends inside the distance. It's time for Christian Leroy Duncan to shine like a star. He's been waiting for a big moment. You know, that big fight with Dusko Todorovic ended a little early, and then he went the distance, suffered a defeat to Armin Petrosian. Not a good look. Forgot about that one. But hey, he's been taking steps up in competition at the right time. This is a good test right now. Maybe he just wins a decision. Credit to Eryk Anders. He is durable, but I see a finish in this one for Leroy Duncan. Another favorite that shines like a star. Now, there is one or two we got to be careful on, but for the most part, I mean, pretty chalky card, a lot of favorites, favorite heavy. And the next one has my head scratching. Can Matsumoto get the win off his first ever loss? He is 16-1, took a loss by split decision to Rob Font. I mean, it was a split decision, close fight, could have went either way. Big test for him. Now, I think this is a step down in competition. And Miles Johns, he got, barely got the win to Dan Argueta. Matsumoto dominated that fight, found a submission win. He has a lot of guillotine wins, to be specific on the ground there. Looking for a submission, it's probably going to be a guillotine, if anything, for Matsumoto. But his Muay Thai is clean, his striking is clean, his defense is good, and I think more volume, better accuracy can win him this fight on the judges' scorecards. I think he wins this fight as a favorite here. Miles Johns, he does have power. He's going to be loading up, but he seems to not throw enough volume to get himself the win if it goes 15. He might be looking to mix in some takedowns, but he has to be careful of the guillotine in this one, and Matsumoto can stop a lot of takedowns, honestly, keep it on the feet, and dominate the fight. Now, this is a fight off a loss, his first ever, and you got to think he's motivated, ready to go. That's why the bookies have him as such a big favorite. Now, Miles is going to be running laps, trying to land that big shot. I just don't think he lands it. It could be a hedge bet. Might do it. If we have Matsumoto in a big parlay, we probably will. It's always good to hedge bet, so that's why you join Patreon. $5 a month, link in bio. But let's be real. Miles Johns is going to be running laps around that octagon, running away from Matsumoto and the clean, striking Muay Thai that he has to offer. Matsumoto is a good prospect here in the bantamweight division. Maybe he gets to fight the other bantamweight prospect we just talked about not long ago, Elijah Smith. That would be a good matchup in the near future. Elijah Smith and fucking Matsumoto. Predicted it here first. Forecasted it here first. Fight Fiends. Now, Andre Fili is going to have to step into the octagon next versus the Prospect Killer. But he seems to lose these weird fights. Malquizale Costa, Julian Erosa. He can only beat guys undefeated. But can he beat Andre Fili as a favorite? Low confidence pick. Flip a coin. I'm taking C-Rod. I think he can stop any grappling exchanges and get reversals of his own. We've seen it with Rosas Jr., Isaac Dalgarian, Austin Bashi. If he does what he did in those fights, he can win this fight. But he's hard to trust. He's a hard guy to predict. He might even be the toughest fighter to predict in the UFC. For me. Maybe for you too. Let me know in the comments below. I feel like C-Rod is a very difficult fighter to predict for many people. Or to bet on. He obviously beat all these undefeated fighters that we thought would beat him. And then he loses to Rosa. I think I had a Rosa in that one, but that was a long shot pick there. But in this one, Fili, holy frig. If he can show up in this one, he might be able to get it done, but he has to be picture perfect versus a guy that's relaxed, experienced, and confident in his abilities. He didn't lose as bad to Mel Costa either. He only lost a decision where Fili got caught in a submission early, round 1. And even if the fight goes to the ground, we've seen C-Rod with Rosas Jr., Dalgarian, Bashi. He can obviously potentially lock in a submission. He is dangerous. He has some attacks. So, he's the pick for me. Don't want to talk about it too much. This is not a fight I want too much action on. Andre Fili could be live here. Respectful fighter. I've picked him many times before. Just looking at the last fight, hard to pick him in this one. He got submitted round 1 to Mel Costa. Mel beat C-Rod by a decision. MMA math, pretty obvious, but clearly it could be wrong. So I'm going low confidence C-Rod. He beat how many undefeated prospects? Can he seriously not beat Andre Fili? Can he? He probably can. But he has to show up. C-Rod has to show up and show out if he wants to win. And I'm not trusting in that. I'll tell you, fight fiends. I'll trust in Angela Hill. Second underdog on the card. I'll put some money on her, plus money. You gotta. She's fighting Iasmin Lucindo from Brazil. You gotta. She just came off a loss to Amanda Lemos, low output. Takedown's not really there. And Angela Hill, 40 years old, might not be over the hill. She still has some fight left in her. High volume, good takedowns. Knows how to win a fight over 15 minutes. Has far more experience inside of that octagon. Hard to say this is just another easy fight for her to win. At plus money, more experience, more volume, forward pressure. She just has to show up in this fight. Thankfully, we're getting plus money. There's some more meat on the bone. It's worth taking a bite. You just got to climb up the hill a little bit. Risk it for the biscuit. Climb up the hill. Take the bet. Angela Hill. Let's go. You got a lot of favorites on this card. And I'm not trusting in the female favorites. Enough said. Let's take Angela Hill. Plus money. Let's do it. Let's go. Sorry, Lucindo. Whoa. Steve Erceg. 12-4. Off 3 consecutive losses. One being a championship fight versus Pantoja. He's due for one. And now he's a big favorite versus Osbourne, who's still just kicking around the UFC. Got a friggin' huge win to Louis Garroulé in that last fight. 10-0 Garroulé got knocked out. Not good. I had Louis Garroulé as a lock of the week. Ode proved he's still kicking the can, and he kicked my parlay out the window. Now we need Erceg for the win here. He can't really afford to lose another fight. I mean, he just fought for the belt. It's about time he gets the win. Try to knock out Ode Osbourne. Knock him down. Choke him out if you have to. This is a winnable fight. He just needs to do it in dominant fashion to prove he's still a decent fighter. I mean, he just fought for the belt. He wants a statement fight. Ode Osbourne is very finishable. He's very finishable. And obviously on the ground, he's been finished a few times. We haven't seen the submission from Steve Erceg yet inside of the UFC. But on the feet, Erceg's boxing is clean. It's heavy. And he's going to be locked in for this one. Clearly off 3 consecutive losses, he will be locked in, defensively sound, ready to go. Getting the win in this fight off an underdog win with Angela Hill the fight before. We can end it off with 2 favorites. Yeah, we can. Erceg, though, man, if you lose this one, it is your enemy year. You know, not a great sign. You're in your enemy year. It's not going to be a good year. You could suffer another loss, but I will have faith in you to get this finish and beat Ode Osbourne. Ode Osbourne, like I said, is due for the PFL one of these days. And I think that day is coming this weekend. We got to go with Dazzy. Husky Hustler. Your guy cannot let us down here. Can't let us down. We're not going down under with Steve Erceg. Potential lock of the week. He needs to win this fight that bad. Main event fight. Don't got the fluff on right now. Don't worry, it'll be back Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Prop Fiends are going live. I'm assuming one of the 4 prop fiends will have Hernandez for the win over Roman Dolidze, the Georgian hype, the bullet from Georgia. This guy here, I mean, living up in the mountains with the cardio and the grappling, the all-around game plan to get it done, is going to struggle in this fight, in my opinion, over Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, motivated for a win off 7 consecutive wins. Couple by finish. Just beat Brendan Allen 5 months ago by a decision. He proved that he can go late in fights. He proved that he can finish fights. Now he needs to prove he can beat the higher level guys at 185. Now he's without a doubt the pick for me with relentlessness, the ability to push forward, push hard late in the fight. I got to trust in my guy, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I think his grappling will be more efficient in this fight. Both grapplers are good, but I'm going to pick the more efficient grappler, the one with the better control, submission ability. I got to go Hernandez. And now it's hard to disagree because the bookies are starting to give him the respect he deserves. We're not getting him at plus money like we did versus Michel Pieta. We're getting him at a 3-1, 4-1 favorite in a main event fight versus Roman Dolidze. I mean, that's a wide line. I think he might even find a submission. If it's priced that wide, I think he gets a submission. I don't think he goes the distance again. Roman Dolidze looking to grapple. Might tire out later in fights. Dolidze, yeah, he's in the mountains. He's training that cardio, but it never looks good. It never is there in the fight. And if it is there, I think Anthony Hernandez can wilt his confidence, make him quit in this fight, lock in a submission, put him to sleep if he has to. This is a statement fight for Fluffy, and he's bringing that Riz in the main event. All he has to do is show up here as a favorite for Fight Fiends. Let's go. That's all he has to do. Show up, show out. Just like the Prop Fiends are going to do with a special guest, T-Pain, T-Swizzle, T with the frizzle, T with the rizzle. Money Man Tristan, he's joining in for the Prop Fiend show with Prelim Tim, MMA Husky Hustler, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. He won the $100 giveaway last week on the show in the comment section below. $100 giveaway. Hashtag F3 plus 100 odds or above. You know what to do. Drop your parlay below. Let's go.